Rainbow association, tomboyish attitude, and masculine voice? It's no surprise that the Brony fandom sees fit to believe Rainbow Dash is a lesbian, practically being a walking stereotype as is. But the problem with that is, aside from said stereotypes, there isn't any evidence as to her sexuality. Or is there? We're here to take that challenge and see if Rainbow really wants the D or the V. Now, finding out the sexuality of a fictional character is no easy task. You can't just ask them for obvious reasons. Plus, in this series, main sex romance is almost unheard of outside of Equestria girls, so we don't even get any blatant hints dropped. So in order to determine which way Rainbow's cloud floats, we're going to need to find subtle evidence pointing towards any of 4 possible options and compare them: heterosexuality, homosexuality, bi or pansexuality, and asexuality. Or in layman's terms, she likes guys, she likes girls, she likes both, or she likes neither. Let's start by talking about wings, and yes, I know where I'm going with this. I'm going to blow your mind with 3 words. Wing boners are canon. Or is that 4 words? Either way, listen up and I'll explain this seemingly mad and unsupported phrase. We see throughout the series that, when startled or overly happy or anything else of the sort, Pegasus wings extend on no command from the Pegasus pony themselves. The conclusion can be drawn that wings react to a rush of adrenaline, since we've seen them pop out in reaction to various things that would cause bursts of energy. So what can cause adrenaline rushes? A common misconception is that you only get adrenaline rushes when you're scared, but actually you get them from anything that would make you significantly excited or anxious, or anything that makes it hard to sit still. So you can get an adrenaline rush from things such as anger, happiness, fear, and arousal. Take a look at this scene from the Season 1 episode Over a Barrel. Here, Rainbow's wings are folded. Here, Pinky appears in a seductive looking outfit, with seductive bedroom eyes, and here, Rainbow's wings are spread. She doesn't seem angry or afraid. If anything, her expression shows confusion. And yes, seeing your normally childlike friend suddenly looking ready to ditch her job as a baker to become a prostitute would likely scare you, but not in the sense of startling you enough to trigger an adrenaline rush. Since nothing has actually happened that would startle Rainbow Dash, and we can already tell she's feeling confused rather than any other emotion prominently, this leaves sexual arousal as the reason her wings are extended. So this evidence points towards her being into mares, either specifically or as well as stallions. But it doesn't stack up. That moment aside, we have never seen Rainbow express interest in other females, whether directly or subconsciously through being turned on. Yes, she tends to not have much sense of personal space and will often get involved with hugs, but that's more her excited personality than anything else. And if we were to include lack of sense of personal space as a point toward homosexuality, that'd probably automatically make Pinkie Pie a lesbian, and that's something I don't ever want to try figuring out. Now yes, it's true that a lack of evidence does not instantly make something untrue, only not definitely true. And there isn't any evidence that directly points towards Rainbow Dash liking stallions. However, there is some evidence pointing to her not being a lesbian. See this scene from Super Speedy Side of Squeezy 6000. Rainbow pulls the covers off of Fluttershy, who covers up in embarrassment. While we, the audience, can't see a pony's private parts due to limited animation, and this being a children's show, they have to exist. Fluttershy is sitting in a position that ponies are not usually in, and as such, her nether regions will be completely visible to Rainbow Dash, hence why she covers herself. Rainbow Dash, however, does not react whatsoever to this. Yet, if she was a lesbian, or even bisexual, she'd at least be surprised, if not blushing and having her wings stiffened to the point of no longer flapping. And before anyone says that she was more focused on the cider, that's not how the body works. Your mind does not control your arousal. If a guy is focused on getting to a Tim Hortons or Starbucks or something, and he looks aside and sees a naked girl, even if he's super determined to get to that place, he's going to have some physical reaction. So Rainbow Dash is very unlikely to actually be a lesbian, since she was completely unaffected by a view that many a straight man or gay girl would pay their life savings to see. She also has no reaction to any extremely close contact with other females, simply either being annoyed or happy with no signs of arousal. There are more examples of her not being a lesbian than there are of her actually being one. And since there's no way to find a definite, 100% true answer due to the lack of Rainbow Dash romance in canon, this is the closest we're gonna get. Rainbow Dash is either straight or asexual. With one exception. It might not stack up against Rainbow is not gay, but the wing boner incident does hold its own in the grand scheme of things. You can't just toss away evidence you know is important just because there's more important evidence to the contrary, you work it in. There are, believe it or not, some people out there who swing one way, but are still romantically interested in someone who's the opposite gender of the way they swing. Some straight guys can like other guys, and some gay guys can like girls, for example. This does not make the person bisexual, it simply makes them straight or gay with one person as an exception. And before you start insisting that's not possible, let me give you a little lesson on how romance works. Romance is not determined specifically by gender and sexuality. Those are really nothing more than starting points. A person has, in their mind and in their heart, what can essentially be called standards for what they look for in a relationship. If a straight man were to find another man who fit all those standards, it's entirely possible that the man would develop romantic feelings for him. This does not mean that the man is gay or even bisexual, he just found an exception. Rainbow Dash has an exception, and that exception is Pinkie Pie. The wing boner incident proved that Rainbow is able to be sexually aroused by Pinkie, and we see in various episodes that the two are almost the closest duo out of the main 6, only beaten by Rainbow Dash and Fluttershy, who grew up together. Plus, in the season 4 episode Rainbow Falls, right when Rainbow is in the middle of being all excited from the chance to permanently join the Wonderbolts relay team for the Equestria Games, Twilight brings up how doing so will mean Pinkie won't be able to use her cheering routine. Rainbow goes from joyful and proud to suddenly upset in one sentence flat, and every other example Twilight uses doesn't actually seem to make this any worse. Rainbow truly cares about Pinkie, and friendship doesn't seem to be where that fact stops. So that's about it. Wing boners, stereotypes, and naked Fluttershies all leading to this one fact. Rainbow Dash is either straight or asexual, which one of them it is literally cannot be proven due to the lack of main 6 romance, with Pinkie Pie as the only exception, being the only mare and possibly the only pony at all to leave Dashie aroused. So, sorry to all you fanfic writers, but the mare who launched 1,000 ships just had about 80% of them sunk by pure logic. And I'm gonna start running away now because I hear them getting their torches and pitchforks ready. Thank you for visiting Cutie Mark Laboratories. Don't be afraid to kill anyone ominously coming towards the lab on your way out. Bye!